Incredible. Amazing.
And welcome to episode 203 of the most must-see, award-winning show to ever hit the Bedford TV airwaves, or any airwaves for that matter, north, south, east, west, backwards, frontwards, any which way you look at it, all around the world, the Wrestling Connection. I am your host, your connection to the wrestling world, the pontiff of professional wrestling, the perfect Mr. Ken Hill, delivering all the news to you in professional wrestling today. Alongside me, as always, is actually the brand new, first time ever, inaugural, first time ever, WK King of Pay-Per-View Champion, Mr. Dan. Dan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Before I introduce our new co-host here, I want to take the time to apologize to everyone for this past Sunday. We had some technical difficulties. I was not able to bring the coverage live coverage of the Royal Rumble from this past Sunday. It was a very exciting pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I was not able to bring all the play-by-play as I intended. I will try and have the results up during this weekend, just to give you my general thoughts and notions on how this past Sunday went, as I'm going to do now. But before we get into the Royal Rumble pay-per-review, I'd like to introduce a new friend to the Wrestling Connection. He actually just moved into Bedford this past summer, but he has been a big fan of WWE. I'd like to introduce everyone to Aaron.
Hello.
Aaron, why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, I moved in from Boston, and I really enjoy wrestling. I've been watching for about 2 years now, and this year will be my third straight WrestleMania, marking the third year that I've been watching. And I just really enjoy wrestling for the nice storyline and unique touch that it has, unlike other sports.
Well, I gotta agree with you. The whole reason I got into it was, because I liked the narrative, I liked the twists and the turns, the drama behind it. So I can certainly appreciate that. Aaron, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so who would you say your favorite wrestler is?
I'd say it's definitely Dean Ambrose for his lunatic fringe type of...
For his jocularity, for his general zaniness.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you know, we all know Ambrose is unfortunately on the DL right now, but hopefully we'll see him come back in 2018.
And hey, if you like looking at wrestlers who act similar to Dean Ambrose took a lot of inspiration off of Mick Foley, if you want to look at some of his older stuff. Because he had a deranged side and he had a comedic side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there were way more than just three faces to Foley.
Oh,
Foley was a multifaceted character.
Schizophrenic.
Much like Dean Ambrose was coming up through the indies in WWE when he first came in as part of the Shield. The irony was when Ambrose was coming into WWE, he was
supposed to feud with.
He was rumored to start feuding with Mick Foley. Obviously, due to health concerns, it never came through. Mm-hmm. But it would have been interesting to see essentially what, like you said, many people have called this generation's Mick Foley go up against the original.
Yeah.
It would have been a very intriguing concept. But more on that in due time. this week, though, like I said, it's the Royal Rumble pay-per-review, view. So, like I said, it was a very action-packed, because like I said, you had the first ever women's Royal Rumble. It's something I know that Julie, our Big Four pay-per-view champion, was very, very, very excited about. Especially what happened after the end. So, you know what? Even though it was the main event, you know what? Let's talk about the women's Royal Rumble first. Let's just get the big news. Oh, of course, we have the official presentation.
Thank you.
Presentation of from our offhand stagehand.
The former champion.
Ooh! Ouch! Ouchie! All right, but yeah, let's just start with the women's Rumble. All right, so as it was, you know what? I tend to give first time occasions benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. I actually thought it was a good. I actually thought it was a good Rumble. I thought it was a good Rumble match.
Absolutely, I agree.
You know what? Give the woman the main stage. Give them the main event stage. I don't think anyone here in this day and age has a problem with that. No. And I think they shine. I mean, you saw plenty of familiar faces. You saw some ones that you were expecting. Some you may not have been expecting. I mean, of course, we saw Tori Wilson. We saw Kelly. We saw. I mean, among the unexpected was Vicky Guerrero, which
was nice. I enjoyed that.
Which was very nice.
It would have been nice if she at least came out with the Eddie Guerrero theme, but you know.
But I mean, it's not Vicky unless you hear "Excuse me."
Yeah, it's true.
It's so true. And then another surprise return, which the one that honestly caught me by surprise was Molly Holly.
Oh, that was great.
Who was seemingly so adamant about the fact that she was not returning to wrestling, and then boom, here she is, and it doesn't look like she ever missed a beat.
Nah, the only person who lost a beat was Sasha for not getting in the proper spot.
Ooh, ouch.
Hey, you know what? Sasha did amazing work. Well, Everybody in there did it.
Sasha, I think, yeah, Sasha actually.
She was the Iron Maiden.
She was the Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
Number one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually picked her. No one picked her to be Iron Maiden, which I mean.
Honestly, I feel kind of foolish for not doing that because she's literally been in every single inaugural, women's this or women's that.
She's always had some sort of impact, and I mean, I think just the fact that none of us considered her, I think, honestly, bad.
I think I took the mistake of neglecting Sasha like the way I neglected Finn because you keep thinking they're not going to do anything with it, but you know what, they still see them as the big contenders.
Right. I mean they're still going to have an effect in the match one way or another. They may not win, but I don't like to think that like we're not going to remember them simply because they didn't win. Okay, you remember a lot of Royal Rumble performers even though they didn't win. Okay, I'll give you a male example: Kofi Kingston. I mean, Kingston's a virtual highlight reel in the Royal Rumble going back to 2012. All the ways he manages to save himself. And yet, okay, he's never won a Rumble. He's never
needed to.
Royal. He's never needed to because he's so popular and because everything he does like sticks in our memory. So I don't think it's true what they said that, okay, no one remembers the loser. I sure as heck remember the losers. I remember Santino Marella in 2009 when he broke the record for quickest elimination. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Sheamus
was close.
Sheamus was close. We'll get to that. We'll get that in a little bit. Back to the women's Rumble, though. I mean, you had Michelle McCool, who surprised everyone with the most eliminations, which I didn't see coming
by one more than Nia, which was surprising.
Who was like our popular pick for sharpshooter. Mm-hmm. But she and like I said, she looked extremely dominant. Nia looked every bit the monster that she should have been in that kind of match, and it took a lot of effort. I mean, you did see some other surprises. You saw Ember Moon, the NXT Women's Champion,
which is good that she came out with. I'm glad all the NXT guys came out bandaged up.
Because this is the night after. Like, they had a lot of big matches, so of course they should look. Of course they should look hurt. Okay, it's good continuity, something you don't see in wrestling nowadays. Good continuity.
I honestly think that's why these Rumbles were as great as they were, because of the fact that they're showing continuity with all this stuff, and not just for storylines, but for where they should be in the match.
Right. I mean, one such example, like I said, you had Sasha at the beginning of the match. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had Lita. I mean, another sign of continuity was seeing Trish and Mickie
yeah.
James.
That's who I wanted to talk about was
have a
Trish.
reunion of sorts in the ring. Everyone remembering their infamous feud from all the way back in 2000.
Trish certainly did. They had camera had to pull away from her.
Yeah, little unfortunate callback if your name is Vince McMahon.
Trish was very impressive. Can you hear me?
I won't go into descriptors
don't.
right
Okay,
here.
no.
You're gonna have to watch the Rumble for yourself to figure that one out, folks.
Hey Ken, I liked Trish. I was very impressed with her. She was my favorite.
I think she did put in a pretty good show.
She was great.
I mean, she was Lita.
Her and Lita, they lost a step, but not much.
Not much. They didn't really lose much of a beat right there. All in all, I mean, Asuka ended up winning.
It was expected.
Which wasn't so. I mean, when we found out that Trish was the number 30
instead of Ronda,
and Ronda wasn't going to be Ronda Rousey, who was much rumored to be in the match.
Let's all do a Ronda Rousey impression.
Oh wow!
Ouch.
The point. If people took drinks every time someone pointed at the sign, Ronda got people drunk immediately.
Oh yeah, I know. But I did love her song.
Well, I mean,
don't give a damn about my reputation.
That kind of brings me to my next point. Okay,
Yes.
Ronda's debut was something you could have easily saved for Raw. Like
For Raw?
to have her come out right. I mean, like when Asuka was making like a critical choice, like it was her moment, her time in the sun, and then you
Right.
had Ronda come out and just sort of hijack it. Which don't get me wrong, I mean there's a certain level of controversy to it. I mean it'll certainly draw attention.
It was weird that she didn't get on the mic at all.
Yeah.
She didn't. I mean, and she's certainly not lacking for mic skills. She's certainly been
Right.
very outspoken in her MMA career.
Right.
This is just got just as much controversy as the first ever women's Money in a Bank match.
Let's not go there.
It seems
It
that
was
every
released,
time
that's fine.
it seems like every time they're going to do something new with the women, they feel like it's not enough, so they got to have something else in there, something else to pop them big. They still had another. They still have 2 more pay-per-views.
Right, this is something they could have done, like I said, night after Royal Rumble. They could have easily debuted Ronda then when Asuka was making her choice. Does she want to challenge the Raw Women's Champion? Does she want to challenge the SmackDown Women's Champion? And boom, it feels like they rushed the whole thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, speaking about doing something new with the women's matches, for the first time in WK history,
Yeah, I mean, but
we have 2 women in the control room right now.
Oh.
You have a new guest today, Ken. Ann Siemens. Everybody say hello to Ann. Hi.
Hello.
And
Welcome to the WK.
the Wrestling Connection.
Yep.
Yes. Welcome
So
to the madness.
You have Aaron is new today and Ann is new today. She's always watched your show from afar. She's always been a fan, but
Thank
probably
you.
didn't feel that she knew enough about wrestling to join us. But I pulled her in the control room today, and she's going to sit here and she's going to listen and watch from the front row.
All
right.
Front
Nice
row,
audience.
Front row seat.
I must be in the front row.
Make sure you don't get splattered by the madness.
So you have 2 women in the control room today for the first female Royal Rumble.
Of course.
Anyway, so you said that we went through who won that match. What would you say was some of the other highlights? I'll tell you mine was Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I mean,
What's your highlight?
Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella?
I was so
Nikki
happy.
Bella was your highlight?
Yeah, I was so
She wanted
happy
Nikki
to
Bella in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there
picked
were a
her.
couple picks for Nikki Bella.
I picked her.
Honestly,
Yeah.
But I was
I've
happy
seen
to
that
see
should have
her.
known in hindsight with the Bella twins.
It was when you think of Final Four, similar to what happened with the men's Rumble. You
Yeah,
think
I
that it's
actually
not going to
didn't-
be.
I didn't
really
do all
special.
that well in the Final Four for the women.
Neither did I.
But I was
Asuka
happy
was
to
literally
see
all we
her.
had.
Yeah, that was it.
No one went for Sasha, and then the Bella twins. It was like,
Yeah, Trish made it near the end, but she didn't make it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I
was happy
like
to see
Sasha's-
the Bella
Rondo
twins.
certainly wasn't there, so that was kind of a waste for some of us.
I did like Sasha's
Can't get a word in.
Rumble only heel turn.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw more of her original NXT personality,
Which
Yeah.
people
Sasha.
loved. That was what got over
liked
big.
it. I liked how she eliminated Bayley. I liked how for a scant moment she sided with the Bella twins and started taking out the favorites. So
And the overconfidence, thinking that she could order the bells around, cost her.
and then the Bellas reminding her why they've been stalwarts in the women's division for the last few years, pulling underhanded tricks like that. But then of course you had Nikki turning on her sister.
Which
that was
that's
crazy.
that wasn't surprising.
Well,
at
yeah,
least.
if you've seen the history of the Bella twins and how they fell apart the first time around a few years ago, yeah, not all that surprising.
At least they didn't get on the mic after.
Oh, thank goodness. But
All right.
But in the end,
Asuka
that's
did ultimately end up winning.
Yeah.
The one thing I did
Highlights,
not like, though, I mean, here's the thing.
No, he hears me.
I mean,
Yeah.
you had Stephanie
We're
McMahon
good.
on commentary, and as far as commentary goes, she wasn't. She was all right. I'll give her the double her due. She wasn't too grating, but I mean, she was just kind of there. Just kind of gave little bits and tidbits, and didn't really. She didn't really offer so much, but she did. At the same time, she didn't take away from the commentary.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take away from Michael Cole if there's nothing to take away from. But then the next night, okay, instead of just letting Asuka come out herself and soak in the moment of a Royal Rumble victory, her super historic, history-making Royal Rumble win. Like, you can't say history enough times. Hey, Picard.
Hey, Bricard.
Like, you can't say history enough times. Stephanie has to come out, has to talk about at length about the Rumble and how history-making it was, and then introduce Asuka. Like, okay, Asuka couldn't just taken the time to come down herself.
So you feel she was taking the
It's
thunder
because it's the
away.
first ever, so
ahead,
she has to make sure she talks
let
about each bit
Asuka
of it.
have her spotlight and just let her have it for herself. All right, you don't need Stephanie coming out, and not to mention you didn't even capitalize on the whole Ronda thing because Ronda wasn't even at Raw. So I mean,
It almost sounds like she's not coming back till Mania.
and supposedly she has a full-time thing. Okay, yeah, full-time if your name is Brock Lesnar.
Now, are there rules? Can she do that? Can she just pop in and say?
It's honestly up to
It's
her
it's
schedule
up to her.
and what Vince wants.
I mean, yeah,
They'll pay her whatever they need
She
to
has
pay.
filming to do. She has a movie to film, so that's understandable, I guess, to an extent. But after that, like if you only start showing up sporadically like Lesnar does, then that's not really a full-time contract. Like, I mean, God, next thing you know, she's going to start bouncing around, and she's going to have some annoying, screechy, bald woman talking her up like every few weeks.
All right.
Hey, it would be
Moving
interesting having
on.
Renee Young be her spokesperson.
Moving on.
But you can't really.
Yeah.
I can't really picture Renee.
We
being
have a
bald.
lot.
now.
We have a lot to cover.
All right,
Yeah.
we do have a lot to cover.
And we have
speaking of Brock Lesnar, we had the triple threat match for the Universal Championship.
The reason I have this belt right here, the timer.
The timer, yep, he won. Yep, like I said, we had it was a three-way tie for first place between myself, Julie, and Dan. Dan ended up being the winner. The match only went about like 10 minutes, and you had 13. Mm-hmm. So yeah, kudos to Dan on that one. You caught me on that one. This was really nothing to write home about. Basically, it was just three big men destroying each other with chairs and tables and basically anything that wasn't nailed down.
Strowman and Lesnar have done this song and dance before. We've seen the destruction that they can cause, and which is great.
But
the only real interesting parts was at the very beginning with Strowman essentially botching a knee, but basically hitting Lesnar hard, and Lesnar
With a stiff knee.
immediately
And
reciprocating.
Reciprocated. So, I mean, on the one hand, good professionalism by Strowman for realizing, okay, I messed up, my bad. Lesnar giving him a receipt, and basically Strowman just remembering just to be more careful with Lesnar on the rest of the match. So I appreciate that exchange right there.
As true as that is, and I agree 100%, it does make me very interested to see what a real hard-hitting Strowman-Lesnar match would be.
I would love to see that. I think a lot of people are angling for that because, I mean, here's how the match ended, okay? Basically, you had Lesnar kicking Strowman out of the ring, hitting Kane with an F5 after a big melee, 10-minute melee of a match, and pinning Kane with a single F5. And of course, Lesnar retains. And now Strowman, of course, he's standing in the ring proclaiming,
You didn't
did not
beat
beat
me.
You did not pin me. So you would
And
think,
hence why Lesnar would just say, yeah, that's why Kane was in the match.
yeah, I don't have to. I
Yeah.
don't have to beat you. So basically,
So you can see Scare, which gives Strowman another chance to go for it, which he won't, but, maybe they'll have a match after Lesnar loses the belt at Mania.
so yeah.
Maybe.
So, Aaron, I mean, how have you felt about this whole kind of simmering rivalry between Lesnar and Strowman. I mean, personally, to me, I just kind of feel like Lesnar's kind of trying to dodge Strowman here, more or less.
Well, I don't think this feud is really like the most important thing on Raw anymore. You know, when it first started, it was kind of interesting, but then it kind of led to a 5-minute squash match and a pay-per-view. Strowman got defeated, and then they kind of picked it up later with Kane.
Right. It was so anticlimactic the first time around, and then when they tried revisiting this, obviously they went out of their way to build Strowman back up by basically having him destroy Lesnar and Kane every week.
Yeah.
I mean, even after the fact, on Raw this past week, we saw the Last Man Standing match, which was also a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, where we saw Strowman squash Kane.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, Strowman came back to his political career.
Yeah, sent him back to being Glenn Jacobs, lighting
Broken Kane, the politician.
the way for 2018. But yeah. So now you really wonder, okay, are they still gonna go with Reigns versus Lesnar 2, which would make absolutely no sense considering that Lesnar, as we've seen in the last few years, has virtually owned Reigns. I mean, we saw him beat Reigns last year at SummerSlam.
But that's the comeback story.
But at the same time, though, Strowman's also been that proverbial albatross, that white whale for Reigns. Reigns only ever had one concrete victory over Strowman, and that was at Fastlane last year. Since then,
He dodged. It was great. It was great.
He dodged one big aerial move from Strowman,
Yeah.
and that was it. But the point I'm trying to make is that, okay, yeah, Strowman's more of the white whale for Reigns than Lesnar is, in my opinion. All right, because it's been like in any match you can think of, ambulance match, last man standing match, basically any no disqualification, street fights, basically any.
I gotta say the Strowman Reigns match feud has been the best thing that Reigns has had in years. Honestly,
because it's been complete. It's been almost entirely one-sided.
Yeah,
because Reigns has never had that conclusive victory over Strowman. He's always needed either the Shield or basically Strowman just making an unusual mistake, which he hasn't done since. I mean, so I would personally rather see Strowman beat Lesnar for the Universal title and have it be Reigns versus Strowman. Obviously, yeah, we're going to get Reigns versus Lesnar too, because that's what Big Daddy Vince wants, and what.
That's what I have to look forward to after Mania.
Exactly. So
That's really sucks to
I'm
say.
gonna say sign Lashley. All right. So,
Well, that's why you have Strowman v. Reigns and then Lesnar v. Lashley.
oh yeah. All right. So more on that in the comics.
Yeah.
Like I said, they did announce the Elimination Chamber to become a number one contender to the Universal title. Why they're having that match? Well, because we had a SmackDown winner for the men's Royal Rumble.
Yes, we did, and it was awesome. And yet it wasn't the Miz. Oops.
Well, it was certainly one of the more entertaining Rumbles that we've seen in some time. And for the first time in seemingly 6 years, we had a winner who actually needed a worthwhile victory in the Rumble. Who, you ask?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
So yes, so it was a history-making Rumble. 2 history-making Rumbles, because for the first time in either women's or men's history at the Royal Rumble, you had 2 Japanese winners, and in Shinsuke's case, the first time the number 14 entrant ever won a Rumble match.
Wow.
First time ever. So Shinsuke making history in more ways than one. But yeah, I mean, this was a very entertaining match. I mean, you had Finn Balor and the leader and of course the progenitor of Rusev Day, Rusev, starting out the match, which was very, very entertaining.
Rusev was number 1, and people loved it.
People loved
Finn Balor didn't even get as big a pop as Rusev. Rusev was literally the biggest babyface in this entire Royal Rumble.
He was. That was the crazy thing. I mean, yeah. So I mean, you had nice slots, and then you had the hilarity of Heath Slater got knocked down on the ramp.
Baron Corbin destroyed him, and then no one ever let him get back in.
And then, of course, you had Sheamus, who's
his like, all right, I'll just
decided to throw him back in. And how is Slater thinking by possibly, we haven't gotten the official record on this, possibly breaking Santino's record by eliminating Sheamus in like a split second, which was like
on his birthday.
On his birthday, which is according to
it may as well have been
also on Rusev's day.
It might as well have been his dang hometown.
It was. But I mean, you have to look at the bright side of this for Sheamus, like Corey pointed out.
He got the belt. He got the belt.
He stayed fresh for his tag team
exactly.
match. There you go. Okay, so anyway, like I mean, unlike the women's rumble, I think we most of us did really well here.
Yeah.
Especially me, because I swept the entire Final Four.
Absolutely.
I know it came.
I was up by one.
Before the Final Four, we had the shocking return of Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
The biggest shock to me, not just his return, he looked amazing.
Absolutely.
Like, he looked like WCW Rey Mysterio.
I remember listening to him after he returned. I forget which year it was, but when he was number 30, and people booed because they were waiting.
2014.
Yeah, because they were waiting for Daniel Bryan, and I remember seeing how upset he was that people weren't happy for him. This was completely different. He wasn't 30. People weren't waiting for Daniel Bryan. People knew who was going to be in this Rumble, and when he came out and he was running around and he looked like he cared, and the fans cared for him, you could tell how happy he was, and he put it all in the ring.
And you could, he looked amazing. Like I'm talking like when he first came in, amazing. 2002, amazing. Like he was flying everywhere. He never looked like you almost forgot for a second that he's had like about 24 leg surgeries.
Oh, it was 8, I think, or something like that.
Well, I mean, who's
knee? Oh no, 8 knee surgeries, not including other parts of his legs. That is his weapon. They must be fully operational.
They got to be like bionic legs. They have to be.
By now, yeah.
The fact that he was moving around so well, I think, was just amazing to me.
We had 2 NXT guys. We had
the NXT champion, Andrade Cien Almas. I mean, he had a great run. Lasting nearly 30 minutes before falling victim to an RKO. And the mid-air RKO. Out of nowhere.
And not to mention, he got rid of Kofi.
He got rid of Kofi.
He got rid of Kofi after Kofi flew over Jinder.
Kofi had another amazing Rumble feat. After his New Day cohorts, Big E and Xavier Woods had both been eliminated, Kofi gets tossed by the make-believe Maharaja Jinder Mahal.
Okay.
But Kofi gets tossed out. One foot hits the floor, the other lands right on the chest of Xavier Woods, and according to the rules, he could not be eliminated since both feet had not touched the floor. And then what do? They get a big plate of pancakes, put it right there.
I was not as into that part as everything else.
There was a part where Kofi was basically hopping around on one foot. I mean, technically speaking, Kofi could just... If
he could have kept it on one foot the entire time, he would have been in the Rumble the entire time.
Yeah, he could have stayed in the Rumble the entire time.
But what they did instead made me pop. This is what made me happy. The fact that Big E and Xavier actually launched him well overhead,
like a pogo stick.
Yeah, like a pogo stick, right over Jinder, so they can throw Jinder out.
Let's give Aaron a chance to talk. What does Aaron have to say? I want to make sure Aaron gets a chance to.
Kofi went up.
Talk.
Jinder got down.
And ultimately, Kofi ended up going down once Andrade got his hands on him.
Yeah.
Kenny, do you hear me?
What? Oh, no, sorry. Hold on.
Ken, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that Aaron I wanted to hear some of his color play, and then we want to move on because we have so many other matches to talk about.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like I said, we got a lot to
cover.
I know. All right, so Aaron, what was your favorite moment in that Rumble match? I mean, mine personally was seeing the Hurricane return, but.
Really, I enjoyed the Rey Mysterio return. It was just absolutely amazing. I think he got a few extra tattoos, so he was just looking a bit different. But he looked great in that match.
I mean, he looked incredible.
But he got a silent pop. Not really what I was expecting. But
oh no.
Pretty loud.
I mean,
the beginning was quiet because they do the Booyaka part first, and then people were like, huh? Oh, wow. And then they got it.
It was more of a shock. I think more of a shock to their system than anything.
Shock system.
Yeah, we saw Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Baby. I mean, like I said, we saw the return of the Hurricane, even for only for a few seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we saw the end with Roman Reigns and Shinsuke. Shinsuke ultimately overcoming Reigns with a Kinshasa, countered the spear, winning. And obviously, I mean, the match, picking the champion of his choice wasn't
hard to figure out.
Wasn't difficult. Basically going, okay,
Yeah.
AJ Styles. Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, WrestleMania, WWE.
And that'll be great to watch.
It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be a 5-star match. I cannot wait to see these two.
I think we should quick fire these ones quickly.
Quick fire this ones. All right, 6-man cruiserweight tag team action. Grand Metalik, Kalisto, Lince Dorado versus Drew Gulak, TJP, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
And I am not ashamed to say I did not see this match, but I knew the outcome easily.
Yep. The Masked Trio, the Masked Brothers, coming out on top here with an impressive short victory. I mean, with 205 Live on the mend, with the new
GM.
205 Live GM in place, Drake Maverick, of course, the former Rockstar Spud. It's good to see some more energy these sticks, along with other cruiserweights, old and new, that are coming in, with the 16-man cruiser tournament to crown a new cruiserweight champion, culminating at WrestleMania. So you know what? Kudos, great idea. Right
Definitely
there.
be interesting to see who they go for.
Looking forward to see who makes it to the end right there. All right. So moving on from there, we had the handicap match for the WWE Championship. Of course, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sorry, spoiler if we already spoiled it for you, but AJ Styles did retain his championship.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
It is.
There you go. Did retain his championship over Owens and Zayn, not without some minor controversy.
There had to be controversy, of course. That's the only way they're keeping this.
As Zayn was in AJ's clutches and trying to go for the tag on Kevin Owens, the ref said there was a tag, even though we saw on replay there was no actual tag. So Owens was not the legal man, yet AJ rolled him up for the 3 count. So the controversy continues. And to rectify things, SmackDown GM Daniel Bryan made the match for next week to determine a number 1 contender at Fastlane between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who already seem to be falling apart at the seams, of course. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I won't knock at Owens-Zayn match for the life of me. Cause
no. The Battleground match was amazing.
They have fantastic chemistry, but
absolutely.
Suffice to say...
This match didn't do it for me, and that sucks, because Kevin's actually one of my favorites right now. But, I don't know,
Mine too.
they kept seeming weak. They looked like they had a strategy, but the strategy kept falling apart. And the fact that AJ was able to overcome both of them handily, and there was nothing he really had to do.
There's no real threat.
The only real good part was the monkey flip to the Hurricanrana, and that was great. But other than that, the tag looked stupid, and it was obvious what they were going for. It just didn't work for me, honestly, and that stinks.
Yeah, I think they should have worked more towards this storyline, but I feel like it's already been built, but it just didn't feel like that kind of match that I wanted at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I just feel like it just kind of came off just blah. I mean, and even the fact that they had to have it tag in and out rather than just have it straight up 2-on-1, I feel like just really took away from it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it was too stilted.
2-on-1 probably would have been better off.
I feel like it was too, what was it, telegraphed.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's the word for it, telegraphed. All right, so here we go. Another pre-show match. Gallows and Anderson, Good Brothers versus the Revival. Revival picking up the win right here.
A much-needed one.
A rebound after their humiliating
All I can say is thank God they're not falling under the same path as Vaudevillains and Ascension. They need to stay strong. These guys were the highlights of NXT for a long time.
So, I mean, good on the Revival picking up a much-needed victory right here. All right, so now we move on to the Raw Tag Team titles. This one was...
It was interesting.
It was interesting because...
Oh, that's SmackDown. We need Raw.
We need Raw. Rollins.
There you go.
Now, this one was intriguing because apparently over the weekend, Jordan suffered an unfortunate
neck. I heard neck, which injury. Is much worse. From what I just heard today, the real reason why he was pulled is because he was actually having trouble with his grip, which as soon as that happens, it's super serious, and they want to make sure that he has time to heal.
Exactly. So as you noticed, for several minutes, Jordan was seemingly taken out of the match by being rammed in the ring post. Never really got back into it. And even when he did try tagging back in,
Couldn't immediately tag back out.
Couldn't find his equilibrium.
Seth lasted a long time, but sadly, unlike AJ, he couldn't overcome the 2v1.
Versus Cesaro and Sheamus. So the bar ended up becoming 4-time.
With Jordan not even seeing it happen.
No, basically just standing outside, completely lost, completely in a daze. So, but unfortunately, not endearing himself to the vociferous Philadelphia crowd, which we can only hasten his heel turn.
And maybe they should put him on the Eagles team and see how he fares at the Super Bowl.
Oh, ay.
It's always great when Jordan gets booed when he says something stupid.
It's always great when Jordan gets booed.
Like Champions Club. Yeah, Champions Club. Except none of you are champions.
We're going to be the world's greatest tag team, I swear.
Ouch. Okay, yeah. In a pig's eye. All right, so now this one was a little baffling to me. Not so much in the outcome, because I guess in hindsight, seeing the Usos overcome Benjamin and Gable was sort of expected, given that they've dominated just about every other tag team on SmackDown. But the 2 out of 3, I feel like the 2 out of 3 falls format didn't really make a whole lot of sense in this one, considering just how much action back and forth and how much drama you saw in the first fall, which you usually don't. I mean, it was a nice change up. Don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like
I honestly feel if they just left it as a one fall match.
Just go with one fall match if you're gonna put all of that into just the first fall, and then have the second fall just really come out of nowhere. I mean, like I said, a nice little change up to the 2 out of 3 falls concept. Just kind of like have the Usos sweep in 2 straight falls. All right, so obviously that puts Benjamin and Gable near the back of the line, and now we see that the Bludgeon Brothers.
I'm looking forward to that.
Harper and Rowan challenging, seemingly being next in line to challenge the Usos. Now, this is not the first time Harper and Rowan would be facing the Usos.
Exactly. How many years has it been since they faced each other? It's been years.
I know, and these two teams are still here. So it'll be interesting to see how this iteration of Harper and Rowan do.
It does make me wonder how who's going to be over this time, because the Usos have finally gotten themselves over. People were bored with them when they were the baby faces.
They're the tag team to beat now. They are the tag team to beat.
They are the bar.
Although, and this is probably hypocritical sounding for me, we could do without the cheap Windows movie media.
That was terrible. They were breaking the flow the entire thing. They've had that before, where they go,
they had
Shelton Benjamin, lockdown, New Day, lockdown,
jail bar.
Instead, they say it, then they have to look at the screen. It's just.
So no. But and then of course we had the Bobby Roode Invitational. I think just they kind of wanted to throw a wrench into everything for whatever reason. Ziggler was originally the intended opponent, but at the last minute they seemingly just switched things up. Through Mojo Rawley.
I think it's because of the fact they wanted to keep the belt on Roode, and if Ziggler can lose, then he lost his momentum. Oh wait, he came back in number 30 and got thrown out almost instantly. He lost his momentum. Well,
Oh well.
I can't be too mad. I called Roode to win.
But and then of course we had the fatal 4-way on Tuesday on SmackDown,
and we got a fan favorite to win.
We got Rusev challenging Bobby Roode next week for the United States.
No. Rusev Day versus Bob Roode.
Bobby Roode versus Rusev Day. It's Rusev Day. Rusev Day.
And I just like the promo where Rusev's just going, Bob Roode.
It's going to be a glorious Rusev Day. It's glorious. Okay, so that's all for the Royal Rumble, the rollicking Ronda Rousey Royal Rumble. Rollicking review. Try saying that 10 times fast. I dare you. Not you, because I know you can do it. All right. So, and anyway, like I said, okay. So next week, like I said, we'll be covering. Of course, we'll be here with our new King of Pay-Per-View champion. We'll be starting our approach
Dan, your belt's
into
Upside Down.
Raw's
Dan.
Elimination Chamber.
Dan, your belt's upside down.
It's upside down.
Dan, your belt's upside down.
There you go. Of course, we already know 3 of the entrants in the men's Elimination Chamber. We also know that for the first time ever, history
want to be on the
making.
show?
We will have a women's elimination
Come on, I'm
chamber
gonna introduce
for the
you.
Raw Women's Championship.
Yep.
So just who will Asuka be facing at WrestleMania? We may very well find out.
I'm calling Naya. Just saying.
Okay, so anyway, we will find out more. We'll talk more about Raw's Elimination Chamber next week on episode 204. But in
You
the
have
meantime,
another
I'd like
guest.
to thank
Do you have
everyone.
another
I'd
guest?
like to thank Julie. I'd like to thank Aaron for coming in today. Aaron,
Thank you.
wonderful having you. I'd like to thank Dan, our new King of Pay-Per-View. I'd like to thank Nick, Julie. I'd like to thank everyone. For coming in today. And just to remind you to
Be connected.
get connected
Yeah, okay.
and stay connected. You have a good weekend, everyone.
I've heard it
Too many times to ignore it. It's some things that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it. The wrestling connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.